Hello, and welcome to the newest episode of Show Me Your Diamond podcast. The newest diamond today is Dr. Yasmine Saad. She's one of the top New York psychologists, and I would let her introduce herself properly.
Oh, thank
Welcome.
you so
Yeah,
much, Julia.
welcome, Yasmine.
Thank you so much for having me. So, hi everyone. I'm Dr. Yasmine Saad. I'm a top three rated New York City psychologist. I'm also an editor pick TEDx speaker. With right now, my TEDx in 6 months is almost at 500,000 views on how to make sense of your negative thoughts. So, very exciting. And I'm the founder of an Inc. 5000 company called Madison Park Psychological Services, where we deliver tailored, holistic mental health services, psychotherapy, coaching services to individual families and couple. And so this is a bit who I am. I'm holistic. So I've been everywhere speaking internationally. I've been on TV in a more than 200 plus media's outlet. And so what's very unique and the reason why people have me on their podcast is I blend traditional Chinese medicine with Western psychology. I have 13 years of working under Grandmaster Nan Lu of the Traditional Chinese Medicine World Foundation and 7 years practicing as psychologist and teaching and training psychologist. So here we
Wow.
are.
Well, amazing. I am so impressed with everything you have achieved already, and you're so young.
I
And
look down.
you are young. And of course, because you are into holistic medicine and holistic lifestyle, we could clearly see that. I am so lucky to have met you and to actually um, I now feel you as a friend, Yasmin. What can I tell you? Because we've seen each other all around the world in different amazing places. And I was there in Florence watching your amazing TEDx talk. And I remember you before the talk. We were in the changing room with your makeup and the outfits. And this was such a bonding experience. And then I watched you on stage. And then I went on that stage and I stood in the red spot and I said, I want to do that too. It's a dream. And a year later, I have done it too. I'm a fellow TEDx speaker. However, let's speak about Yasmin because when I meet incredible people like Yasmin, I want to share them with the world. I want to share them with my audiences because more people need to hear about your amazing work, but also about you as a person because we connect on human level, human to human, woman to woman. So, Yasmin, there's so many things I want to ask you. Where do I even start? Okay, would you like to give us a little bit of your backstory, your roots, and how did you come to become who you are today?
Yeah, I'll be happy to. So I believe that, you have all the secret ingredient to your own recipe, and it's just about looking. So I grew up, in Paris. So I'm Lebanese originally. We immigrated when I was 5 in Paris. And so my father was very big on me being the best. Since very early age, he wanted me to be the top of the class. So he was very hard on me. And my mother was very much about follow your heart. I believe like love is everything and you should do what you love. And so I grew up with those two kind of education. Follow my heart, be the best. And so here I am in Paris. And in Paris, at 16, you have to decide what you want to do because you have to decide which track are you going to go do your baccalaureate in. And I was in a mathematical section and I was very good. But I was thinking, oh my God, if I go to business school, it's the death of me. And I was set to the best business school and everything. That was the path for the school I was in. And I was like, oh my God, I cannot do that. And I thought, oh, what do I like? And as you can hear, I have a melodious tone of voice. I'm very calm. I was born with that disposition. So at school, people will always come to me for soothing before tests, for, relief. And I used to love helping them. And I used to think like, that's what I want to do. I want to become a psychologist. I want to make people feel better. And I love that. So one day after math test, I came home and I told my mom, she was like, how was the math test? It was fine, it's fine, but I have a big thing for you. And I told her, I'm going to become a psychologist. And she was like, it's made for you. And she was so supportive. And then I went to talk to my dad, and my dad was like, have you lost your mind? Like, you want to be a psychologist? You have to think immigrant father who was all about safety, providing. He was like, how are you going to provide for yourself? In France, psychologists don't make that much money. It's hard to make a living out of it. It's not a prestigious profession. So he was really worried for my financial well-being. He was also worried. He was like, you're going to hear problems all the time. How are you going to be healthy yourself? It's going to affect you. Is that really what you want? And, he kind of warned me. But then he said, but, I warned you, but do what you want. And that's what I wanted. So I moved ahead with psychology. Everybody thought it was disastrous. My school was like, are you going to give away prestigious business school for psychology that's a regular university diploma that has nothing to it when you have this caliber to you? And I said yes. And so and I told my father, you know what? I'm going to figure out to be the best at what I do so that I'll make the living. And I don't know, I'll figure out how I'm going to deal with the negativity of hearing people's problems. And I did. I became the best. I fast tracked very fast in France. I became a psychologist there at 23 years old. And I thought, who's going to see a psychologist at 23? And so I learned that in US, you had more clinical training through the PhD, because in France, you can only do a thesis, and I wanted to be clinical. And so I moved to the US, and there I was very quickly successful, became the top three. And I integrate Eastern psychology, and I develop a method where I actually listen to the strengths of people, the talent of people. Through their pain, I'm able to see the diamond as your brand, the diamond within. And so I don't really get affected by the negative. Of course, I feel people's pain. I'm very empathic and I feel, but I also see the talent, the strength, the purpose behind everything. And so I'm able to help people feel better pretty quickly. And so I always say thanks to my father's warning, thanks to my mother's dedication to meeting your passion, and my father push to be the best. I mean, they kind of set the way for me. I just had to listen in a deeper way and not be offended by what people wanted and what they thought.
Beautiful story, and thank you for sharing it because one of the reasons I created this podcast is yes, A, for me to share the amazing people I meet in my life, and two, for you and for myself sometimes to share our path, our story, our wisdom. So, for all of those people who maybe feel that they cannot personally work with us, or they are too far or too different, for them to get motivation. So here you were, this bright young lady, amazing at math. Everyone thought you should be doing business, but here you were, you listened to your heart. And still, you became so successful at what you loved, and you still became financially independent and successful also financially in that field where people previously believed maybe it wasn't a lucrative career. And I'm sure that top three psychologists could be making more money than some lawyers or some businessmen. So, with your story, I would love to open the door for all of you listening to us, watching us. Just believe that you could achieve anything. Don't listen, or maybe listen to what people say, but feel your heart and do your own path. Because similarly to you, Yasmin, for me it's a bit different, but so interesting how many synchronicities we have. I actually studied economics. I hated math, and then I ended up studying math, statistics, accounting, all of those foreign things to me, and I hated it. But why did I go? Because it was the hardest university to get in, and it was the trendiest thing to study, because I came from post-communist place, so we didn't have business economics. It wasn't a thing. So I studied that, and I went to America like you. I went to the States, and I thought I will be a banker. I'll be a banker because I wanted to be financially independent. I wanted to be like the American women who didn't have to ask their husbands for what they wanted. So, and the only image I had was a banker. But destiny led me to jewelry, diamonds. And then, like you, I made an amazing career in that. So the thing is, love what you do and be good at what you do. And like you, I was also very stellar. So, yes, the sky is the limit. Here, I would love to ask you about your amazing method, the negative message approach. Am I correct? Or please tell us about your unique method.
Yes, it's called the inner message
Yes.
approach. And it's based on the idea that everything coming through you, your thoughts, your emotion, or interaction with people, have an inner message too for you. So we take the example of the story we talked about, let's say with my father. Very early on, I understood that, okay, he loves me, so I have to listen and not get offended by what he tells me, that there's a message for me. And what was the message? And the message was, okay, this is what I see about who you are. You're sensitive, you're an empath, you feel people. So, how are you going to sit with people who are talking problems all the time? You will end up living in problems. I see that for you. So, therefore, now you have to figure out how you're going to solve that for yourself. I also see that it's important to be financially independent. And therefore, how are you going to solve that with you in a profession that doesn't make money? And so there was a message. Sometimes the message we can get them through positive, through like my mother saying, follow your heart, your passion, and that's an easy message. And sometimes we get them from people giving us criticism or pushback or triggering us. So that's an interpersonal inner message. But the other place where I apply my inner message approach is through your thoughts and your emotion. That every thought you have comes from deep within you, gets encoded by the way you think, the way you are in the world, and shows up at a thought. So, for example, a thought, I'm not good enough. It's somewhere deep within you. You have some self-esteem imbalances and you motivate yourself through the negative. So through the kick, you kick yourself in the butt. So the thought comes, I'm not good enough, as a way of kicking you in the butt so that you work on your self-esteem. And once you can decode those messages, you start understanding when you're frustrated. It's kind of an inner message to tell you, hey, you have an unmet needs right there that you should pay attention to. What do you want to do about it? I think you're neglecting and people are neglecting that needs. What are you going to do? So everything, once you can decode it, either your thoughts, your emotion, interaction with people, end up being an inner message. And this approach is based on the Eastern concept that everything is energy and everything vibrates at a certain energy and has a purpose to help you grow and get to your next potential. Your thought or that energy vibration, your emotion or that energetic vibration. People coming to you and the thing that they tell you are meant to have an energetic vibration and impact on you to help you grow. Can you see it? Can you decode it? Can you not get bogged down by the negative that it creates initially? That's the inner message approach.
I love it. Because a few days ago, I was, as most of us, we have piles of paperwork somewhere, and if I put it somewhere, it meant that it was important for me to look later when I find time. And this is when I found your brochure with the inner message approach, and I read it from start to finish, and I felt through it because it was exactly also in a beautiful right moment because and you were giving us as example working with frustration, and at that exact moment I was frustrated. And I'll give you the example, very simple. My two industries that I am is, if I had to put one word for each, would be diamonds and water, or luxury and wellness. So I was working on two events, and I'm inviting people, and I'm inviting potential clients, but sometimes I also invite friends. So my idea, where I come from, is I invite you because I want to see you. I invite you because I want to give you the opportunity to either touch and play with the beauty, with the art, to get inspired, or hear an opportunity. Again, get motivated, see what I do, and maybe do something else, but as a motivation. On the other side, someone that I have invited that day must have been going through something challenging in her own life. And her reply was, oh, like she immediately retired in herself and said, oh, I don't like to be marketed to. And my first reaction was frustration. I was like, how do you not see it? You know, if someone invites you, why don't you see the good? Why do you see that someone is trying to sell you? So I was sitting with my feelings, and this is when I was reading the inner message approach, and I was trying to decode it. Okay, in myself, I believe, if we could just role play, I believe in myself, I also detected that this triggered me because I was not understood. I was coming from the place of good. I want to, it's a gift. An invitation is a gift. But if someone doesn't want your gift, then, just move on, move on. But also that negative, energy and negative reply that I got, it actually, I used it to fuel me, and I wrote a beautiful blog post. And I named it quite harshly, You Are No Longer Invited. Or, Why Are We So Afraid to Be Sold To? You see, and I believe this is what you're talking about.
Yes,
It
a
might
hundred.
seem negative, but I learn about me. I also acknowledge that maybe that person has their own limiting beliefs, because you cannot be sold to. You can allow it or don't allow it. But you can be, but I believe the universe gives us gifts. And if we say no to gifts, the universe stops giving us gifts. That's my philosophy. This is how I choose to live.
100%, 100%. So if we were to apply my inner message approach to this example, like you receive like an aggression, we would call it an aggression, a comment, like somebody assumed negative
Yeah.
out of you and your intention, that you are inviting them to a place where they're going to be sold to, therefore that there was a manipulation. So therefore implying that there's something not pure about who you are.
Yes.
And given that you lead your event with so much purity, with so much we're here to connect, so much purity, that really attacked the essence of who you are. And so that created hurt and frustration. How come you don't see the good of me? And how come you're giving me bad of me that is not there? And so from there, you transform and create a creative process about, okay, but let's say even if it was this bad person who was, going to put you in a room you were sold to, what is the problem about it? Can we talk about the fear of being sold to? What is it? And you were trying to heal this person through your blog. So you receive this aggression, transform it, attacks the essence of you, but you knew who you were, you stayed true to your core, and you transformed it in a way to heal many, many people. So it became a healing message for many.
Thank you for unpacking it even better because I felt all those feelings, but I loved how you decoded it, and I hope it really helps other people out there. Exactly, because we always have the choice. We either take something seemingly negative and we use it to create, or we take the negative and then we go down the hole and the spiral that just bring us down, down, and down. But we can also say no. Thank you
That's right.
for the message. So, Yasmin, would you like to share with me? I don't know, what would you like to share with me? Maybe a marvelous success story or something that you would like to share with my audience.
Okay. Well, one thing I would like to share is continue that conversation because it's such an important conversation that people often feel somebody is gonna do me harm. Like this person, the feeling was somebody's gonna do me. I'm gonna get into that room and I'm gonna be sold to. I'm gonna be manipulated. I'm gonna be, and as you say, nobody can do to you anything unless there's something within you that has the potential. So for example, if you are someone who is easily suggestible, then you'll be worried about being sold to because you know that internally there's this inner crack, inner balance, however you want to call it, that somebody could sell to you and then you will regret it. But unfortunately, most people don't look at it that way. They just look at it, I can be sold to. So, whatever I say is when you are triggered interpersonally, it always reveals a bit of something that you're very attached to or an inner balance. So, for example, you were triggered because you're attached to your identity of being pure, a pure soul that helps people. And so this person's statement really attacked that. And so that triggered you because you're attached to your identity. For that person, she was triggered because in some way she felt she could be sold to. And you can only be sold to if you feel you have a tendency to say yes when you want to say no.
Mm.
And instead of acknowledging that tendency, working on that tendency, then you say the other is bad or the other can do bad. And that's how we walked a lot in relationships. I wanted your audience to know that. So not as much their success story, but really understand that interpersonal trigger is such a place to grow. If you can stop and say, "Oh, I'm being triggered. Is it an attachment I have? Or is it something I know about myself that feels dangerous in this situation?" And based on that, you have more clarity in order to move forward, more empowered, and and you're always protected. And so nobody does anything to you.
Mm.
You only in some way let it in by your attachment or by your inner cracks. That's how it works. And we all have them. And there's nothing to blame or judge. It's just an understanding and awareness. And now you know, okay, I'm someone who really like my pure soul and I want to be seen that way. So let me do more of it. And then I know that if somebody attribute negative to me, it's going to hurt a little bit more because of that attachment. Or I am someone who has a tendency to say yes when I want to say no, and I gotta watch that in situation and maybe remove myself, not blame the other for it, but remove myself. And
Mm.
so those are the two pieces that I think would be very important for your audience to know because we all get triggered interpersonally. It all happen all the time.
And the invitation here is for all of us to look deeper and do some more inner work. I
Yes.
love that. I love that. So, in my eyes, you have all the success in the world. But what does success mean for you, Yasmin? You're a doctor, you are, I mean, you have achieved more than many people in few lifetimes, right? So
That's
what
right. Ivana, yes. on the surface, people will see that I'm very successful. I have a big group practice. I have a good marriage. I have children. I mean, people will see. What I always want to tell people is every single person arrives where they are through challenges because your reality is always a byproduct of your journey. And so what you see is as much an amount of the challenge that I've been through than the successes. And I always think life brings you your training for your next step. So for me, for example, when I was a kid prior to age 5, I've been through war, I've been through bomb, I've been through so much. And I always ask myself, why? Why did life give me this? And when 9/11 happened in your city, it became very clear to me. It came clear that if you're going to sit with people who are terrorized, what best training than be terrorized as a child, learn to overcome it, become a psychologist, and as an adult, how well can you sit with that? Very well. So I always say the achievement that you see in someone is just a reflection of the challenges that they've been through and they match. So what you see is always being matched by obstacle and challenge on the other side, always. So never idealize anybody. Never think they have it all good because it's never that way. But their success is always a measurement of their ability to transform, understand, create. And so I feel like for me, I've been able to really understand how everything I had in my life was a training for my future. And so every step was a training. So every adversity, when I was in it, I knew that this was refining the future, but it did tap into fear. It did tap into a lot of difficult things. And we're always in a dichotomy. Like, for example, my company, Madison Park Psychological Service, got into Inc. 5000 twice. So that's a huge accomplishment. But this year, the year we received the second accomplishment, I got 11 psychologists on maternity paternity leave. So for a financial model of a business, and I give them as much time as they want, that really means, people like you have a decrease in the income that's coming in for 6 months and way much more than that because patient cannot be given before and after they drop, and so it's a whole year. So you have at the same time this fantastic achievement, and another time you have this new challenge. 11 people on payroll who now need to take paternity maternity leave. It's huge financially. Patient want to wait for them. So how do you distribute the cost? How do you manage? And it's a new challenge, and life keeps challenging you. And so, but I knew that, okay, this is coming for me to rebalance the finance, build better system, understand maybe I'm too generous. Maybe I want to be giving as much as I'm giving, but maybe, for business model, it cannot work so well. So maybe I have to rebalance and I have to build something better, more solid for the future. And this is a bit of a warning, and it met my level of adversity. So this is a bit what I wanted to share to people, that the success is always there, but the challenge are there too at the same time, building you for the next future. So again, don't idealize anybody. Don't think you have it better or worse. I mean, some people do have it better or worse, but we are all always being shaped. And it goes back to your diamond theory. Life is always polishing your diamonds, and it's up to you. If you can see the gifts in what's happening in the moment, you'll have an easier time. So that's why most people always see me smiling, even through the challenge, always see that, oh my God, she's so successful because I roll with the punches. But I have plenty of punches like everybody else.
Thank you for sharing that. It's really, really important to speak about that because like you, I have some people who think that I have it easy. I have this glamorous life, but As you said, and the way I put it, there's always a price for everything we have and everything we do. And I was triggered again a few days ago, and now I just have this new creative outlet. As you know, I've just written a book, and now I love writing. Like previously, I have in my Trello where I write, I get to do things, right? Because I don't have a to-do list. I have a get to do list. And then I have books to read. But now I have another column, books to write. I love writing. So again, I was triggered. And then I've written another blog on how some people really look at success and what you have. And I've got quite a lot of remarks. Oh, you lucky, you have business sense. Oh, you lucky, you know how to make money. But people don't see often that behind that is actually feeling the fear and doing it anyway, risking, sacrifices, long hours, not knowing when it's your weekend or time off, not having your space to even know where work finishes and your personal life starts. So it's easy to be envious or to be jealous because we only see the outside. But this is what I said. Think about it before you judge someone or before you say that someone is lucky. Maybe that someone did the uncomfortable that you're not willing to do. And that one person is not better than the other one. It's just what is that you want and what are you willing to do for it.
Yeah.
So
On-
it's I love this topic. My crown question in the podcast, Yasmin, show me your diamond.
Oh, that's beautiful. Well, I mean, I always say my diamond is always my smile because I think your diamond is your light. And when you meet someone, you can feel their light. So I think when people tell you you're lucky, they see your light. They see how much you put light into things. And so they don't see the darkness. For me, it's the same thing. You know, most people see the light that I spread, how I make people feel better, or how I change a room, or how I illuminate something. So I think that's a bit our diamond. Our diamond is shining our light. And I feel the moment you enter somebody's space, you can know their light, you can know their diamond. It's beautiful. And I love that metaphor of the diamond.
And I love every guest I have on the podcast has a different answer. And another dream I have, and I know I'll do it, I would like to compile another book on with the answers of show me a diamond, tell me what's your diamond, who's your diamond. And now here we have Yasmin saying, my smile is my diamond. My smile warms people up. My smile changes the room. The smile changes the energy. So sorry, Yasmin. Just a second. I'll just open the door.
No worries.
Grace, did I tell you that I'm recording a podcast? No. I did when I called you. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. Okay, so please go, but be quiet and ask Georgie to be quiet as well because he keeps going with the doors up and down. Yes, I'll ask the team to edit it because the kids are on holiday.
Problem. Yeah. But you know, I don't hear anything. So
Really?
apart
Oh,
from
okay. Amazing.
that, you will see when you listen to the video up until now. And right now there was a bang, but there was nothing. It's really you have to work.
Amazing. So
Yeah,
I'll take the opportunity to do a pause and advertisement. This week's episode, is sponsored proudly by the best alkaline water in the world, Kangen Water. To learn more, please visit yourhealingwater.com. Cheers.
beautiful.
Wow. Okay, so we were talking about the diamond. Okay, and then
I always. Mhm.
another question that I love asking is, what is happiness for you?
Well, happiness is being aligned with your value and living a life that is so aligned with the essence of who you are. For example, for me, happiness is I like the balanced life. So my balanced life is I need to spend time on myself. I need to spend time with my daughter. I need to spend time as a family, and I need to spend time creating in my business and attending. And if I sacrifice one over the other, I end up being unhappy. I learned very early on that balance for me is key. And now it might mean spending a whole day with my daughter one day and spending the whole day working the next day, balance, but it means like all those buckets for me have to be attended to, taken care of. And if I do that, I am happy. So that's what, happiness is balancing things in your life in a way that makes you happy.
Amazing. I love that. I feel every word that you said, for me, it's also very important. And we are all different. We need to each of us find what makes us happy, right? That's why I love collecting those answers as well, because happiness to one is, being a mom, to someone else is achieving great lengths in a career. And for people like you and I, is having the balance,
Yeah.
because often people choose one or the other. And I believe me and you the example to say you can have it all. It's just you choose the doses and you choose how to do it. And actually, I know that people find it very hard to find that balance, because I do have a lot of clients coming to me exactly for that. Some of them that do not know me, they watch me on social media and say, how do you do that? Like, you have a family, but you also do sports and you travel, but you work. How do you find that balance? And I love helping people with that. You
Yes.
probably also have people struggling a lot. And so are your clients mainly in the US, or do you work with people from all around the world?
All around the world because we do psychotherapy with people in New York State and in other states in the US, but we do coaching and sometimes we're licensed internationally. Like I'm a psychologist in Paris, so we can do psychotherapy and coaching internationally. So our clients from are all over the world.
Do you
We're a
get,
multi so
no, no, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say we're a multicultural practice. So,
Okay,
my
amazing.
psychologists from all over the world.
And do you have people struggling with balance? Oh, maybe another question could be, what is the most common challenge that people feel nowadays? Or maybe two or three, if it's
Yeah.
hard to point one.
Yes. So a lot of people have challenges with balance because, we ourselves are constantly working to balance ourselves, constantly, constantly. So then what happens with that is your life reflects you. So you'll always be trying to figure out the pendulum, how much is it going right, left, where is it going? So everybody has challenge with balance. The thing we see most right now, though, is dealing with the adversity in the world, dealing with the change, dealing with a lack of safety, because with everything's happening in political events, in health events everywhere in the world, people are feeling unsafe. They're feeling like things are no longer safe. There's the fear that AI will take your job. There's the fear that suddenly a politician is going to ruin your country, that the finance won't be there. There's the fear that, the digital money is going to come and ruin things or give opportunity. So people are really struggling with this lack of safety, adversity. And then when your personal life has issue like relationship in your couple, relationship with your children issues, then it becomes, I cannot handle it. Issue with my job, issue with my finance, with my health. Like I'm struggling individually, and then the whole world is collapsing. And so people are really struggling with that. That's the most people are coming with is this idea of it's too unstable. It's
Mhm.
too unstable. I cannot figure it out.
Mhm. What an amazing job, career, and practice you have helping people feeling better and finding the way back to themselves and finding that inner stability, I believe, because it's all about that, because outside there's no stability. And the sooner we understand that there's no stability and we stop chasing it and we start working on that inner stability, this is how we can handle all the challenges that are coming our way. And Dr. Yasmin, because obviously I'm lucky to say I feel you as a friend, but I love also saying Dr. Yasmin because I'm so proud of fellow women who are successful and who are there as role models for the new generation, but not only because I retrained and got a second career at 45. And, I would like to encourage women if you always dreamed of doing something else, it's never too late. Start doing it now because life is longer now for some and hopefully for most because of medicine, because of many reasons. So having a few careers is amazing, but doing what you love and having impact on other people, helping other people is just a very, very rewarding job. Talking about rewarding job and life, now life, you are happily married, you have children. What is your own personal success? How do you keep that peace and love at home? Because many families are struggling. So if you could give a tip or two on how you manage to do it, would be helpful for many to be inspired and to believe in love because love and beautiful families and families who live in harmony exist.
Yes, they do. I believe it goes back to my inner message approach that everything entering your word, every interaction, anything is a mirror for you to look within. So, for example, if your husband comes home and is in a bad mood and it's affecting you, it's a mirror for you to notice, oh, I'm sensitive. I feel people's energy. How am I going to handle when my husband comes home stressed? And so it doesn't become, oh, I'm so upset that my husband is coming home stressed. He didn't leave the stress outside of the house. I don't get upset with him for that. I more look at me at, okay, what do I need to maneuver this challenge? Same thing, let's say I'm going to talk about common example with, couples. Like, let's say, your husband doesn't take care of the chores in the house. Then you're like, oh my God, I do everything in the house and they don't do anything. I take care of the children, the house, and then I get upset. So instead of getting upset, I'm look like, okay, I want fairness, and we don't have fairness on my book. So then I would approach my husband with the idea that maybe either we have two options. Either fairness is not his thing, or he thinks there's fairness, but I don't see it. It's going to be one or the two. So I will approach him with leading first with, this is what I want. I really want fairness. And fairness for me is distribution of chores. And so for me, I don't see it. So it frustrates me. Where are you on that? And then we have a discussion because I'm aware, I have clarity on my needs, my wants. And I assume always that there's a reason that this is coming into my life and it's a positive reason. Most couple fall into, he's doing this to me, she's doing that to me, she is going to betray me, she's going to
Mhm.
stab me in the back. There's a power battle or struggle. And I always believe if there's a power battle, that means that you have issue with your own assertiveness. So that's your own to work and see how come you attracted this relationship, how come you enter a relationship with that. If you have issue with the person is going to betray me, that means you enter the relationship with some trust that maybe you don't believe that there's trust that can be built in relationship. You have old trauma that needs to be healed. So I see everything as a reflection of me and what I carry in my life. And so based on that, the other is always here to expand me through stress, through everything. And so I have to be very mindful to share a negative. And the reason why I came with all of this, again, is I believe your life trains you for your future. I grew up in a family where my mother blamed my father and they would be upset with each other. And it was very clear to me very early on how he liked a certain thing. She didn't like those things. And for him, it brought him pleasure. For her, it triggered her, and vice versa. And so I totally saw how they were here to help each other grow and expand and evolve and embrace bigger realm and bigger thing. And instead, they were grabbing into this is what I want, and you're not providing it for me, and being upset at each other. And so now I'm very aware in relationship to not enter in that because it's so easy to enter in that. It's so easy to enter into this is what I want, you're not providing it, and therefore you're limiting my life or hurting me. And I feel it's the wrong paradigm. The paradigm is you are showing me something about myself that I have difficulty with or that I have to expand. And so let me do that work and see. And then we see if we can evolve together. And if we don't, then, I'm okay with people separating. And I got lucky that I have a husband that evolves too. And so we both evolve. And so there is a part of luck. You can be doing all this work and then arriving to a place of, okay, we separate. But then when you separate, it's from a good place.
Mm,
Um, but so life becomes easier that way. And so for me, that's my success to good relationship.
mm.
It's about really seeing how everything is a reflection of where you need to expand or something deep to you, and it poses a challenge, and you have to find a creative solution to that challenge.
I love it. You dropped so many diamonds of wisdom, Dr. Yasmin. I am so grateful for this conversation. And before we conclude it, is there something else you would like to share?
I would like everybody to know that you will have period of darkness and that it's normal and that everybody has this period of darkness. And those darkness are meant for you to lose your way so that you find your way back. Because when you do find your way back, you will appreciate so much more. That if we didn't lose our way, we wouldn't appreciate. It's almost like we won't appreciate day if there was not night. So we wouldn't appreciate good relationship if we didn't have some rocky relationship. And so I want people to know that your past doesn't predict your future. You will have rocky relationship, and that doesn't mean anything about your future. And I always say that if that was the case, nobody will get married because
Mm.
we all have been through not so good relationship until we find the one. So I want everybody to strive for better, for good, do the inner work, improve your life, and also know that even if you do all of that, like the movement forward is sometimes through darkness. It doesn't mean you fail. It doesn't mean you did something wrong. If you get frustrated, angry, if you like are in a bad place, you're feeling down, there's nothing wrong. It's just you are preparing the soil for the next jump. And so you have to trust the movement forward and you have to embrace both darkness and growth. And when you hear people like me always talk positive of having figured it out, it's not an accurate description because we always are figuring it out. So I want people to know everybody goes through challenge and darkness and it's normal. And your emotions are your guide. Frustration is just pointing you to your unmet desire. Depression is showing you to slow down. Grief is about you losing the beauty in things. So they're all guides. There's nothing wrong about it.
I could listen to you all day long. It's true, your voice is amazing, your wisdom, your knowledge. I really feel lucky for me and for everyone who follows me to have you on this beautiful podcast. And Dr. Yasmin, how do people find you? Of course, I will also drop the links in the description of the episode, but please also mention it with your voice. I would love people to be able to find you.
Yes. I mean, the easy way is for people to go to dryasmin.me. Then you put your information, and then I'll send you, knowledge that I have post events. And what I will send you when you fill that, you'll have all my information. You'll have my Instagram, my Facebook, my LinkedIn, my YouTube. You'll receive everything. You'll receive email, every way to access of me when you fill that information. So like that, I'll have your info. I can send you posts or anything you would like. You'll choose what you would like me to send you. And then you will have all the ways where you can find me. That's usually the easiest. So dryasmin.me.
Amazing. And
Doc
I'll also drop the link to your amazing TEDx talk.
yes, definitely. That would be
Thank you
great.
so much. You've been a brilliant diamond, Yasmin, Dr. Yasmin. You're an amazing person. And thank you for being here with us. Lots of love from London to New York.
Thank you. And thank you so much for having me, Julia. Awesome.
Anytime. I'll have you anytime.